Peace, everyone. This is Nikisha with FavorFlowRestorative. Harmony Unleashed, Mind, Body, and Soul. We're coming back with the second half of our essential oil reading for the week. So this week we picked Clary Sage, which is what you're seeing now. So Clary Sage is for balancing and clarifying. And so it's funny, every time I think about Clary Sage, I think about clarification. And for many of us, I know I can only speak from my own experience, the clarification was in the ability to surrender into flow, into what is, and carrying thought with action. Actually, understanding that within the ability to balance and ground oneself, that then it brings you into the present moment. And in that present moment is the power for action. So hopefully this week has brought a lot of that type of energy. I also want to, I feel like I have so much information that I've been given about Clary Sage this week. So I do want to give those an opportunity that kind of want to get on here and off, kind of like the information that I've normally given, and then I'm going to go into other information that is just extra information if you want to know all about Clary Sage. I will also have some essential oil recipes that you can create with Clary Sage. I'll have those in information at the bottom of the video. So if you're interested in that, please check that out too. The next part of this, so Clary Sage, when we're talking about breaking emotional patterns, the emotional pattern that is attached to clarifying and breaking is intolerance. And so then that goes back to why I just said, I was just like, so what is it that we're intolerant of, and why do we allow ourselves to form an opinion about something that we may be intolerant of, especially if it's out of our locus of control? And so, again, getting out of the headspace of striving to make something logically clear and being able to see the power in the present moment instead, and recognizing that that's where the true power lies, yo. So yeah, you may not understand what's going on now, but like we'll understand it. It'll come to pass. So I want to bring in where to put the oils, because I feel like, anything that we introduce to the skin, we're also introducing to our internal bodies, right? And so if that's the case, where is it that if we do create an essential oil blend, where do we put it? And so from this book by Carolyn Min, The Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. I love this book. Basically, it has the placement as toxic, and I was just like, where is toxic in the body? And it's actually 2 inches below your nipple, right below. And so when you look at that, that would be the area where you would place the oil. And I love the fact that there's an opportunity to do I guess I need to do a little bit of bowl action. There's also a writing technique that you can use with each of these essential oil readings, okay? So you can have different books. There can be like a negative book that you may create. Basically something about accountability, right? Because emotions come up to teach us about accountability. So how you take personal responsibility, and this is also a part of the book from Carolyn Min. It's about taking personal responsibility and clearing mother and father issues, because really if we understand, like a lot of our issues, it does stem from the inner child, and whether it felt safe, whether it felt taken care of, whether it felt loved. And so this is another technique that I invite you to check out, right? So this is what I'm talking about. So if I refer to this, this is what that is. Okay, so as we take responsibility and accountability for what's going on in our lives, and for what we're creating, there are 5 elements that create your experience that can be addressed. So one is going to be negative. So these may be negative feelings or thoughts. Another is going to be positive. That's going to be your positive feelings or thoughts. And then another one's going to be goals. So that's going to be what are your goals maybe in 10 years? Maybe you want to start out small and say, oh, shoot, within the next month, what are my goals? And allow yourself to work your way up, because what I found is that you look at goals in 10 years, that can be very, very overwhelming. It can create anxiety, and then you go through the cycle again, starting with number 1, negative feelings and thoughts. So we don't want any of that. So don't do that to yourself. Okay. So goals, and then what are your desires, and what is your blueprint, how you structure your life to make your desires and your goals manifest. And so to me, that's the deepest, because it's like you're coming up with whatever that blueprint looks like for you. And sometimes that can look very vast. That's why I say just take your time in striving to figure out what that is. So for this specifically, we're doing Clary Sage this week. The emotion is intolerance. It's really about balancing and clarifying. So for the surrender piece of your writing program, this would be about releasing negative thoughts. So that would be part 1 of your book. So we're diffusing Clary Sage through the air, or we're placing it on your temples, or smelling the oil, you know what I'm saying, before we engage in this writing exercise. And that's another reason why I have my meditation journal. That is the whole reason for it, because as you go through here, the things that I'm about to take you through, that's exactly the steps that I have in this book. And so while I love this manual in this book, I didn't have anything that I could use in order to create this experience for myself. So what do we do as creatives? We create what is in existence for ourselves, and we make it so, right? All right, creators. So this one, when we talk about surrendering, we're talking about releasing negative thoughts. So that's one practice you can do. Okay, maybe it's about acceptance. So if you're intolerant, maybe the opposite emotion for you may be acceptance. Okay, so maybe you're having difficulty accepting some type of emotion, and that's real. It's real, because your emotions are your truth. But I love when I heard somebody say your emotions are your truth, but they may not always be logical or practical, or you know what I'm saying? So just being able to, again, take responsibility, take accountability, and apply the Clary Sage over your third eye. Okay? And do that before you lose it, because sometimes that can be excessive and uncontrollable. Those are when the crime of passions come in, is when there's something outside of your control and you're trying so hard to control it, and the opposite of control is just accepting it, just accepting. And then when we talk about intolerance, well, maybe sometimes that means that you've lost hope. So you're just like, oh no, not this. I'm not even going to be hopeful about any of this. And so that may sometimes make you feel depressed or in despair. And so if that's the case, rub your Clary Sage on the top of your ears, or on the rim of your ear. Okay? And so those are just some tips on how to use Clary Sage, especially as we're talking about shifting the emotional patterns. I love essential oils whenever it comes to that. It's played such a huge part in my own healing. Okay, so Clary Sage, we've already talked about most of this, but it helps to promote emotional balance. If you're experiencing mood swings or feelings of stress and anxiety, it can assist you with feeling more grounded, right? And assisting with those negative emotional patterns. It's also known to relieve stress, so it can create a sense of peace and relaxation. So when you're feeling really overwhelmed, the Clary Sage can help you in releasing tension and promoting a state of feeling calm. It also aids in mental clarity and focus. That's what I was talking about at first, because that was what it assists. That's what it's currently assisting me with right now, is recognizing and addressing deep-seated emotional patterns. Like, what is it that keeps creating this experience in my reality that I no longer want to experience, right? So then it supports you in those reflective practices that may be like journaling or meditation, or so that you can be aware and begin to break those emotional cycles, right? If you're concerned about hormonal balance, because that can also like contribute to like emotional, conflict. So it has a hormone regulating property that helps to stabilize your mood. Okay. So, and it can be beneficial for any type of hormonal fluctuations. Okay, not just for women, but for all people. Okay. It also encourages self-acceptance and release. I love this part because I love to feel inspired. So it inspires self-acceptance and self-love. And that's super essential when you're moving through emotional patterns, especially for some of us that are, coming into ourselves and experiencing maybe some lack of confidence or whatever. Like, Clary Sage is super incredible in assisting with like accepting yourself and assisting with releasing any guilt or any shame or emotions that may be linked to past experiences. Now is the time to spring forward. Leave the past in the past or whatever. It all happened for a reason. We're grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know I'm oversimplifying that, and I don't want to do that, but I do want us to recognize that there are practices and tools that we can put in place in order to be able to move through these emotional patterns without prolonging suffering. Like, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice, right? So I'm just encouraging, anyone who may be just kind of like sludging through the mud, that like, yes, that is your truth, and sludge as you may until like you can't sludge anymore, because through that process and through that release comes like the rainbow at the end, right? It rains, and then what do you see? A rainbow. So not toxic positivity. Like, I get the rain, I get the storm. I feel like I am the storm, right? But if I walk around as the storm, how does that project and ripple out to those around me? So it's a little bit of social awareness for us all. Okay. So, and it also boosts intuition and spiritual connection. So, for those of us that are wanting to tap into a deeper understanding of your emotions, past, the patterns, we're tapping into the subconscious. Some of us are meditating a lot longer, a lot more deeply. We're feeling things a lot more deeply. Clary Sage is beautiful and aiding and providing like the insight to aid in the healing process. And it's wonderful to incorporate like with your meditations, with yoga, during quiet reflection spaces. Maybe you just want to diffuse it. And it just allows you to, break free from emotional patterns. So I love this. It definitely, Clary Sage is the Flagstaff emotional pattern breaker. So I'm grateful for us working with Clary Sage this week. This can also happen for breathwork practice. I don't think we talked about that. So as we talk about breathwork and maybe where to put it during that time, let's kind of also bring up the fact that you can use it on specific energy centers. So I think that when we first introduced Clary Sage, we said that I didn't see it on my chakra chart, but I did find out from some research that you can apply Clary Sage to your solar plexus, which is also connected to your seat of like who you are, your confidence, to help release emotions stored there. So that might be like self-doubt or anxiety. So what we do is we turn it into confidence and self-love. Okay. You can also put it on your heart chakra for emotional healing. And so you'll use it over the heart to aid in emotional release, especially as you're working through feelings of grief, fear, or past emotional wounds. So you can also pair it with rose or geranium to assist you with adding more love into that space, more love and support into that space. Also, we have the sacral chakra. That's where your creativity and your emotions collide. And so that would be like your lower abdomen. So you can use during, like, as you're doing like pelvic stretches and yoga poses, so that if you have any emotional blockages related to creativity or pleasure or relationships, feel free to use the Clary Sage for the sacral chakra in those areas, okay? So I did want to go over that as far as like the topical use of Clary Sage. Okay, body scanning. I love to do body scanning. So as you're body scanning, like, and what that is basically is just being able to visualize and tune into every part of your body so that you can recognize if there are any spaces or places that may hold tension, that may be painful, that may cause like some discomfort, something that needs your attention, right? So any tension or discomfort, it points to a lack of ease. So focus on these areas, putting the Clary Sage on those areas, breathing deeply, and imagining the oil assisting to release any of the stored emotions or blockages that may be in those areas. Okay, you could always use it in to soak or any bath rituals, also during visualization or guided meditation. You can imagine a white or a guiding light surrounding you and clearing away any lingering emotional residue or blockages from your aura. So it's clarifying and it clears energy, okay? So definitely use it for that, okay? Let me see if I missed anything. I think that may be it. Okay, I guess the last thing that I want to touch on before I end it is that it can also be used for those of you that may be experiencing any issues with going to sleep, insomnia, or staying asleep, or being able to do work within your dreams, because we only go from one realm to the other. We don't. Anyways, that's another conversation. You can place a drop of Clary Sage on your pillow or in your diffuser before bed to promote emotional healing while you sleep. So that's incredible. We can heal while we sleep, y'all. If you don't know, now you know. It may assist with your dreams and reveal emotional patterns or unresolved blockages. So it is true that we can do work, especially on the subconscious, while we are sleeping. So that can help you to process like any patterns or unresolved blockages a lot more easily, and you can do it while you're resting your body, right? So that's super, super good, right? And then it just allows you to just calm your mind and invite emotional clarity within your dream state. So as you can see, we are almost 20 minutes in. By incorporating Clary Sage in your mindful practices, you can definitely deepen your awareness of emotional patterns that allow you to support the releases of blockages in your mind and body. So what are we about? Harmony Unleashed, mind, body, and soul. So thank you so much, Clary Sage, for enlightening us this week on the benefits that you bring to us to assist us on our healing journey. I'm going to leave it here. My name is Nikisha with FavorFlowRestorative, Harmony Unleashed, Mind, Body, and Soul. And I will that you have a fantastic week. Peace.